Hello, and welcome to Every Day is Funny, the meditative morning show about newspaper comics. Yesterday I was taking a walk, and I passed by this woman who had a shirt on that said 100% human, and it never made me doubt somebody's human existence more. Like, I've never been a conspiracy theorist of any kind, but when I saw that shirt, my first thought was like, a 10% chance this lady is not a human being. And it made me kind of sympathize with the fake newsers of the world. I started to get it. It's like, as soon as someone's telling you something is a fact, your immediate first thought is like, well, what if it wasn't? Like, when you're really putting it in front of me, like when you go out of your way to make sure your shirt says that you're 100% human so other people can see that, what am I supposed to expect or believe? If I didn't even take into consideration the fact that that wasn't true, and the evidence was that blatant in my face, I'd feel like a real idiot. So I kind of get it. Because then if it was true later on and I didn't say anything or think it, she would be like, of course she would come up to me. She'd find me. This woman would come up to me and say, hey, don't be mad. I told you. It was on the shirt, remember? I was like, yeah, but everyone around me was just thinking that was like a graphic tee. She's like, no, I was trying to tell you. And I'm like, I know, that's what I thought. So I understand the fake news believers. Maybe they're my new favorite people now. Like in one of those classic hostage scenarios, if there's a gun to my head right now, and he's like, pick out someone in this world who is not human. And he's doing it, I don't know why he's doing it or how he'll go find the person after. Those hypothetical hostage situations, whenever somebody posits that, they never do a good job of like setting the scene. And I admit I'm doing a similar failure right now. But no one ever does a good job like storytelling that whole thing and explaining why this person is even putting a gun to your head and what the stakes are and the reasonings. Everybody's human. This hostage taker must have maybe not a good reason, but something they think is legitimate enough to warrant putting a gun to your head. But no, there's a way to distill that to be simpler. You could just say, if you had to take a guess, who's the alien in this world? But no, people go on their high horse with like setting up a hostage scenario, but then not feeling like they are required to finish the story or give it the little details it requires to like be something legitimate. I know I'm doing that too right now. But anyway, if this guy was pointing a gun at my head, I would pick this woman. I think she's part alien. Also, before we get to the comics, this week I've been sharing new commandments in what will become the church of Every Day is Funny. Yesterday's commandment was you can covet one of your neighbor's belongings. And today's commandment, in EDIF heaven, there are no gates. I don't know who started the concept of heaven's gates, but I shouldn't say the words heaven's gates together, because the Church of EDIF is not a cult. Okay, it's a community of people who pay tribute to me as their supreme leader, but it's not a cult. But yeah, no gates. I don't know how that got started in the imagery of heaven, but it's very elitist, and I never quite understood why they would allow that to be the case. Maybe there'll be a moat with like heaven alligators, but that's the most we're doing. Oh, and hell in the Church of EDIF is people belly laughing for eternity and never being able to stop. Sounds truly awful. What about the mellow laughs up here? Alright, let's get to the comics. Alright, high and lows time. We see a delivery man coming to the front door. Someone says the Flagstons aren't home, their neighbor. The UPS man says, "Who's that?" And then it cuts to their neighbor in a very tall patch of grass. He says, "I can sign for it." The delivery man says, "Oh, I didn't see you over there." Okay, I thought this was gonna be like, maybe the neighbor would sign and we'd realize he's like sneaky and he wants the package for himself or something. But the entire joke is that he's just sitting in tall grass, and the punchline is, "I didn't see you over there." Come on, man. I think we could do a little better of a line writing than that. He's just in tall grass. I mean, it's very tall and pointy, and that's a funny image, I suppose. Like, why can't the neighbor have an acknowledgement line about the tall grass? Like, just ending on "I didn't see you over there" is barely anything. Why is this grass so tall? Like, when you got the Flagstons next door who have a perfectly manicured lawn, you don't for a second want to just try and level yours a little bit? Instead, he's drinking beer in the front yard, which, I don't know, does anyone drink beer in their front yard? Maybe they do. That always seemed like more of a backyard sort of activity to me, but I guess you got what you got. What would a better line be for this? Okay, this neighbor's a big fella. So, what if the UPS man says, "I didn't see you over there," and the neighbor says, "That's the first time anyone's ever said that to me, because I'm so fat." That'd be funny. Or what about something like cutesy, like, "My wife says I can't come in until I mow the lawn. She doesn't realize the gift she just gave me," and he cracks open another beer. That's like that's a little more cutesy, right? Not just "I didn't see you over there." How do I get a job writing these? Alright, Gearhead Gertie time. Again, this is usually just about a woman who every strip makes a joke about NASCAR, and she just loves NASCAR. Today's. She's reading the news. She says, "I think populating other planets is a good idea. Mars is a perfect place for non-NASCAR fans to live." What? Why is she so obsessed with that? This is like, this is like when your friend or something has that one hobby that nobody else likes, so they really have to tell you all the time how much they like it. You know what I mean? It's like she's sitting alone and talking about NASCAR when reading about populating other planets. She is so against people who do not respect NASCAR or have zero interest in it. It's insane. She's also reading the news on the wrong side of the paper. But whatever. Maybe just that paper's written strangely. And you're going to be really jealous, Gearhead Gertie, when they get to Mars and the atmosphere is different and it makes for some fascinating NASCAR races up there. And then you're going to want to go. And then they say, "No, you were the one who sent us up here. And these races are really insane. And we're not televising them, and you wish you could see them." And Gertie will be distraught to no end, I believe. All the great NASCARs. That shows how much I know. All the great NASCARs will go up to Mars. That sounds like the start of a beer before liquor limerick. All the great NASCARs will go up to Mars, while all the non-greats stay planted in the States. Alright, Rex Morgan time. Yesterday, Aunt Judy, Parker's aunt, Corey and Corey's dad were talking to Rex. and Rex was telling them that they can visit Parker in his hospital room. Let's see what we got today. Okay, at Glenwood Hospital, we see them visiting Parker in their bed. Corey says, "Hey Parker, how are you feeling?" Parker says, "A little dizzy and flaky, but otherwise okay, I guess." Corey says, "I should have gone with you to your locker. This never would have happened." Parker says, "Not your fault. That kid was determined to get me. He'd have done it sooner or later, no matter what." Oh, another grim episode of Rex Morgan, MD. I mean, it's true. Parker really couldn't have done anything. This was all going to amount to this because that's what the bully wanted. And we saw the bully's dad. We have him to thank. The alcoholic, day-drinking, anger-filled man. Man, how funny would it be if the bully ran into the hospital room out of nowhere and just sucker punched him again? I don't want that. Parker deserves some rest. They've been through a lot. But it would be insanely creepy and funny. What if Parker hired the bully to do this to get more attention? And they thought more than 3 people were going to show up to visit them at the hospital. And they thought there'd be this rallying of a community behind them. And he paid off the bully mega bucks to do this. And then 3 people at the bedside and a bank account drained. No, this is legitimate. I mean, it's a cartoon, but it's legitimate. It's sad stuff, man. I wonder how much longer Parker's gonna be in the hospital. Can we go back to Rex Morgan? Or let's follow Aunt Judy home and see how she lives. Anything but Parker and Corey, please. Knowing this author's stylings, they're gonna be talking about this for another month. Corey's gonna keep saying how he should have been there. Parker's gonna say it's fine. We run in circles, we run in circles. Let me think of what to comment. All right, I'm gonna comment because, if we look back to that scene, that infamous moment where the bully punched Parker, Parker actually threw the first punch in that scenario. So I'm gonna say, from the point of view of Parker, what about the punch I threw? Did the bully get sent to the hospital too? And Corey says, no, he ran away somehow feeling stronger and escaped persecution. Send. Because that's just like insult to injury. It's like you get clobbered, you're in the hospital, and then you think back to that moment where you punched the bully, and it did nothing. Not the slightest scratch. And it just made him angrier and stronger. Ugh, awful. All right, time to wind down for this Tuesday, July 9th. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, every day is funny.